Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss a policy with you all. This policy involves animals. Let me start by getting a show of hands. How many of you have adopted or rescued an animal? Almost everyone. That's good. So this policy involves whether animals should be rescued or adopted over being purchased from a breeding facility or a breeding mill. Animals should be adopted or rescued as opposed to being purchased from a breeding facility or a mill. Adopting or rescuing animals instead of purchasing them can help save many animals' lives. Meaning, if more people were to adopt or rescue as opposed to purchasing them, less animals would be euthanized or become homeless. I would like to begin this speech by talking about why I chose this topic or policy to discuss with you all today. I do have personal experience with adopting or rescuing. In total, my family has adopted or rescued 4 animals. 3 of these animals are dogs, and I also have 1 cat. These 4 animals were in need of a home, and they may not have survived if my family was not able to supply this home, love, and care for them. Since I do have this personal experience with adopting or rescuing animals, I'm fairly passionate about the topic. I advocate for this method of acquiring a pet as opposed to purchasing from a mill or breeding facility. This passion brought me to the idea that maybe others carry the same passion I have. I began to ask my classmates in our discussion board in class. Almost everyone, in fact, everyone that replied to my original discussion board post agreed with my policy that animals should be adopted or rescued as opposed to purchased from a mill or breeding facility. After receiving this support, I decided to ask others. I began with people that I worked with. I then moved on to friends and family. And the more that it was discussed, I found out lots of people do support the idea that animals should be adopted or rescued as opposed to bought from a puppy mill. So in order to fully understand how adopting or rescuing animals can save many animals' lives, you must understand the factors that work into this idea. These factors include the abundance of animals that do need homes that need to be adopted or rescued, as well as the downfalls of purchasing from a mill or a breeding facility, because many do exist. So to start, an abundance of animals that need to be rescued or adopted fill not only our shelters, our pounds, but also our streets. Shelters are full of animals that need to be adopted and put into what I like to call a forever home. While these animals come from many different backgrounds, they all share one unfortunate trait. It's not their fault that they don't have a forever home. Many shelters are forced to euthanize these animals if they are not adopted within a certain time frame. Unfortunately, this time frame presents itself due to a lack of ability to care for these animals, whether it's financially, emotionally, or space. They really are overcrowded and they don't have enough space to hold all of these animals. If more animals were adopted or rescued from these shelters, this overcrowding and stretching of resources would never occur. However, as I previously stated, animals in shelters or pounds are not the only animals that need to be rescued or adopted. We also have an abundance of animals on the street that do not have anywhere to find shelter. For example, bringing it back to my personal experience, 2 of the animals that my family rescued showed up at our front door in need of food and love. They did not have a home, they had no support system, and as I previously stated, if we did not adopt these animals, they most likely would not have survived. Now that we've discussed the abundance of animals that are in need of adoption or rescue, let's move to the downfalls of purchasing animals from a puppy mill, a breeding mill, or facility. More often than not, breeding facilities or mills are not what people think they are. People like to assume when they purchase an animal from a mill or breeding facility that this animal has been properly taken care of, that the parents were bred properly, and that the rights of the animal were considered. However, most mills or breeding facilities do not take proper care of the animals within the facility. Most facilities are overcrowded, dirty, and inhumane in the treatment of animals altogether. So now I'm going to show my visual aid. It's a little hard to view, however, it is necessary in this situation. This is a collection of photos from breeding facilities that will really prove to you the overcrowding and filthiness of these facilities. As you can see, there's many more animals in a cage than anybody would like to see. And here, they're really not even cages, they're broken, and they just want to make money off of these animals. So, breeding facilities have one major goal at hand, which I just kind of mentioned, and that's to make money off of these animals that they are producing. That is their ultimate goal, is to make as much money as they possibly can off of these animals without regards of the animal's feelings, of the animal's rights or needs. However, in an adopting situation, it's the opposite. The main goal at hand is to find a forever home for these animals, to care about their needs, to care about where they're going to be and how they're going to feel for life. Which goal would you rather support? Making money off these animals or making them happy? In adoption or rescue scenarios, more than likely these animals are found or are able to find forever homes and they are happy. Additionally, most animals that are purchased from a breeding facility or mill are what we like to call purebreds. While purebreds do carry a certain attraction to a lot of pet owners, they have a lot of downfalls. So according to the Humane Society, this is a quote, purebreds aren't as healthy. Purebreds get to be pure because of the generation after generation of mating close relatives together. This results in a pure breed of the dog, but it also puts it at risk for many more health issues than other animals. If pet owners were more educated on the downfalls of purchasing from a mill or breeding facility, then the need or want for a purebred may be eliminated. They may be more willing to adopt. More specifically, more adoption and rescue scenarios would be present. So after learning the facts that surround either adoption or rescue for animals, or purchasing from a mill or breeding facility, I hope that all of you are persuaded to adopt or rescue as opposed to purchasing. Thank you, and have a great day.
Good job. Good job.